Namaste to all of you. Hope all of you are doing good.
మ్యూట్ చేస్తున్నాను మేడం అందరు
Okay, fine.
దే కెన్ మెసేజ్ ఇన్ చాట్
Oh, fine. Fine, pa. Namaste to all of you. So today's session, before starting today's session, I'd like to thank Mr. Girish also. He has taken the initiative of asking questions in the group. That is really very nice of him. So that is a kind of a revision for all of you. So in the last few sessions, you have learned about the planets from Sun to Saturn. So today you'll be learning many more interesting concepts. So I'll start the session. So let us start the session with a prayer. All of you please close your eyes and pray along. First, let's pray to Lord Ganesha and Ma Saraswati, who are the givers of this divine knowledge. Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurmi Deva Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Let's pray to our parents. Let's pray to all the great saints, gurus, and masters who have given us this knowledge. Let's pray to our Kula Devata. Let's pray to our Ishta Devata. Let's pray to the Rashi Mandala, the Graha Mandala, and the Nakshatra Mandala. Pray and seek their blessings so that we are bestowed by their divine grace by which we can help ourselves and also the society. Thank you. So before starting the session, I just wanted to make a few things clear. Please do not interrupt me in between because even last time there was too much of disturbance. You'll be disturbing the whole class whenever you interrupt in when the class is going on. If you interrupt in between, you'll be disturbing the whole class. Keep your devices muted. And if you have any questions, you make a note of it and you can ask me at the end of the session. See, we have half an hour for question and answer session. You know, that time is half an hour. So everybody will get an opportunity. But the thing is, whenever you ask, only one question you should ask. Each person should ask only one question. Then everybody will get an opportunity to ask. You can raise your hand and the name will be called out, and accordingly you ask the question. It will be easier to manage. If everybody asks at one time, it becomes very difficult. So that's what I wanted to tell. So let's start the session. One second, please. One second, please. So today is session 12. In the last session, you have understood the characteristics of the planets, what each of the planet represents, what their natural signification is, what they represent, and what kind of relations they represent, the places, the people, and things that each of the planets represent. Now we are going to study about the relationship of planets. See, when we take an individual, human beings will consider some people as friends, will consider some people as enemies, and someone might consider you as their enemy. And there are some people who are neutral, in the sense we are not much disturbed by them. We don't consider them as our enemy or as our friend. So such are neutral people. So that is how relationship work among human beings, right? In the same way, among planets also, they have relationship. Each of the planet has a few friends, few planets as neutral, and few as enemies. This is very, very important for analysis of a horoscope. You should know which planet is friendly to the other one, who is an enemy, who is neutral. This will help when you're studying a horoscope. So let's understand the relationship of planets. When we take Sun, let's start with Sun itself. The first planet, Sun. Sun considers Moon, Mars, and Jupiter to be his friends. Okay? And he considers Venus and Saturn as his enemies. Neutral is Mercury. See, sometimes what happens is we might consider one person as our friend, but it is not necessary that they also consider us as their friends. They might consider us as an enemy, or they may consider us as neutral. So the relationship will change. Just because we consider somebody as a friend, it doesn't mean that they should also consider us as their friend. In the same way, for example, Sun considers Mercury as neutral. But when it comes to Mercury, Mercury considers Sun as the friend. So it depends. Each planet's nature is different. So according to their inclination, they consider some planets as friends, some as enemies, and some as neutral. So this table depicts that relationship. When you come to Moon, Moon considers Sun and Mercury as the friend. Moon has no enemies because he's friendly towards all the planets. He doesn't consider any planet as the enemy, but he considers Mars, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn as neutral. Neutral means, see, they're not friendly, neither are they inimical. So they are neutral. Now coming to Mars, Mars considers Sun, Moon, and Jupiter as the friend. He considers Mercury as his enemy. Okay, and Venus and Saturn as neutral. When it comes to Mercury, Mercury considers Sun as the friend. See, Sun considers Mercury as neutral, whereas Mercury treats Sun as friend. And he treats Venus also as friend. But Mercury is inimical towards Moon. See here, for Moon, Mercury is a friend, but for Mercury, Moon is enemy. That's what I said. When we are talking about human beings, we might consider somebody as a friend, but they might not consider as friend. They might take us as enemy. Same thing happens with Moon and Mercury. Moon considers Mercury as friend, whereas Mercury considers Moon as a enemy. And Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn are neutral. When it comes to Jupiter, Sun, Moon, and Mars are the friends. Mercury and Venus are enemies. Saturn is neutral. If you remember the story of Moon and Tara, Mercury is born to Moon and Tara. So it's a illegitimate child of Moon. That's why Jupiter considers Mercury as the enemy. Coming to Venus, Venus considers Mercury and Saturn as a friend, Moon and Sun as enemy, Mars and Jupiter as neutral. Saturn, Mercury and Venus are friends, Sun, Moon and Mars are enemies, Jupiter is neutral. So this is the table which indicates the relationship of planets. Now, how do you remember it? This is quite an important concept, but how do you remember it? So let's take a method, an easy method to remember this. So we'll divide the planets into two teams, Team A and Team B. It will be easier for you to remember. In Team A, you find Sun, Moon, Mars, and Jupiter. In Team B, you find Venus and Saturn. Now, what happens? The planets in Team A are all friends among themselves. So that's why they have been grouped under one team. Sun, Moon, Mars, and Jupiter, they are friends among themselves, or they might be neutral in some cases. When you see that Team B, Venus and Saturn are friends. That's why they have been put in Team B. Now, Moon is the planet. When you look at these two teams, Moon is a planet which doesn't have any enemy. So it is kind of a friendly planet. It doesn't have any enemies. Now, nobody treats Jupiter as their enemy because Jupiter is Devaguru. He is the one who gives guidance to the Devatas themselves. That's why Jupiter is a very prominent planet, and none of the planets consider Jupiter as their enemy. These are some interesting points, for you to remember things easily. So, Moon has no enemies. Jupiter is not treated as an enemy by any of the planets. And here, Sun considers Saturn as enemy, Saturn considers Sun as enemy. So mutually, both of them consider each other as enemies. In some cases, one planet considers the other as enemy. But here, both are inimical to each other. Sun doesn't like Saturn, Saturn doesn't like Sun. So they're both mutually enemy to each other. In the same way, Sun and Venus are also mutual enemies. Sun treats Venus as enemy, Venus treats Sun as enemy. So both of them are mutual enemies. Now, Mercury is the only planet which has friends from both the teams. That's why he's been put in the center. He's friendly to this team also, he's friendly to this team also. That's why he's in the center. And there's father and son relationship also among these teams, Sun and Saturn, their father and son. Same way, when it comes to Moon and Mercury, their father and son. So, this is an easy way to remember the relationship between the planets. Here, Mars considers Mercury as an enemy. Why he considers Mercury as an enemy? Because he's ready to join this team also, and he's ready to join this team also. That means he is not loyal to one particular team. Mars is a planet of loyalty. So, he doesn't like this kind of nature of Mercury. That's why he considers Mercury as an enemy. When it comes to Mercury, Mercury is friendly to Venus. He's also friendly to Saturn. He's friendly to Sun, Mars, and Jupiter also. So he's ready to join any of the teams. That's the kind of nature. And when it comes to Mars and Saturn also, Mars considers Saturn as enemy. Why he considers Saturn as enemy? Because Mars is a planet of speed. He wants things quickly. He acts quickly. He's very aggressive. That kind of a nature he has got, a fiery nature. Whereas Saturn is a cold planet. It is not that fast, it's very slow. So they have got contrasting natures. That's why Mars considers, there's an enmity between Mars and Saturn. Okay. So that is the relationship. You have to remember this. We have understood about the characteristics of planets. Now, even planets are classified. Planets are classified into different categories. You studied about the classification of Rashis. Classification of planets also you are studying now. So they are classified in different methods. So the first classification is based on their appearance or position, we can say. See here in this classification, we are talking about Sun and Moon as mandala grahas. They're called as mandala grahas or luminaries. Luminaries means they emit light. They have got the capacity to emit light. Among all the planets, only sun and moon can emit light. That's why they are called as luminaries. And mandala grahas, that's another name for them. Tara grahas. Which are the Tara grahas? They're called as Tara grahas because when you look at the sky, they appear as nakshatras, but they're not nakshatras, they are grahas, but they appear as nakshatras because they're very far away from the earth. So, which are the Tara grahas? Mercury and Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. These 5 planets are known as Tara grahas. The next classification is Chaya grahas. Chaya grahas means Rahu and Ketu. They are not planets actually, they are nodes or points. So, this is the classification that is based on their appearance. Luminaries, Tara grahas, and Chaya grahas. Okay, so these Tara grahas are only the only planets which get combust. Now Rahu and Ketu don't get combust, Moon doesn't get combust. Only these 5 planets get combust. So this is one classification. The next classification is based on their inherent nature. See, inherent nature means that is their basic nature of a person. Depending on the role given, they might act according to the role, but their basic nature, what the basic nature is, good or bad. So based on that, they are classified. For example, a person might be very kind, very compassionate, very generous, but if he is given the role of a jailer or of a police officer, according to the role, he has to act harshly or he has to give punishment. So that is the role given to him. But inherent nature is that of goodness. In the same way, all the planets are given roles to perform. But what is their inherent nature? Based on their inherent or basic nature, they are classified as Shubha Grahas or Papa Grahas. Shubha Grahas means they are known as natural benefics. Papa Grahas are natural malefics. That means their inherent nature is to to be very rough or to trouble you, or that kind of a nature they'll be having. So natural benefics are Jupiter, Venus, well associated Mercury, and waxing moon, that is Shukla Paksha moon, is considered to be benefic. Now, which are the Papa Grahas? Mars, Saturn, Sun, waning moon, that is Krishna Paksha moon, is considered to be a Papa Graha, and Rahu Ketu. So this is the classification based on their nature, inherent nature. Now, there's another classification based on their close proximity. That means how they are posited in a horoscope. They are known as, see, Sun, Mercury, and Venus. If you observe that in any horoscope, you will see this. They either will be placed in the same house, or Mercury will be placed one house ahead or one house behind. When you talk about Venus, it will be placed either in the same house or within 2 houses ahead, 2 houses behind. That means they're always together. They don't go very far away. They're together. That's why they're known as Mukkuta Grahas. Mukkuta Grahas means 3 planets. They'll always be together. Venus cannot go beyond 2 signs, whereas Mercury cannot go beyond 1 sign. It will be rotating around Sun itself, because that's the planet which is nearest to the Sun. Next comes Venus, right? So if you see any horoscope, you have to check this. Sometimes people will give wrong information. So if you see that Mercury or Venus is placed in some other sign beyond 2 houses or beyond 1 house, it means that horoscope is not right. So this is one way of checking if the horoscope is proper or not. See, let me show that with an example. See here, Sun is posted in Karkataka Rashi. Mercury is over here, that is in the next sign. So what is the span in which Mercury can be found? It can either be found with the Sun in the same sign. this is universal in every horoscope. This is how it should be. Either it should be with the sun, or it should be on either side. That is, it can be over here or it can be here. That means only one sign it can move. It cannot go beyond that. If in a person's horoscope it is written beyond these signs, it means the horoscope is not proper, or they have not given the correct information. So Mercury can either be over here or in this sign or this sign. That much only it can move. It cannot go beyond that. When you talk about Venus, Venus either can be here, here, or here. That means only this much it can move. It can be here, here, or here. It cannot go beyond two signs. That is the distance between Sun and Venus. It cannot go beyond this distance. So this you have to see in every horoscope, whether they are placed in this range only or not. That you will have to check. See, here in this horoscope, Mercury is here, just one sign ahead, and Venus is two signs ahead. It can be either two signs ahead or two signs behind, or in the same Rashi. It cannot go beyond that. So this is about the Mukkuta Grahas. So the classification based on appearance, proximity, and inherent nature. That is the classification of the planet. Now let's just see how much time each of the planets take to revolve around the sun. That means that is the time that they take to complete one revolution of the zodiac, or to cover all the 12 signs. That is the time taken. For example, when you come to Venus, it takes 225 days to cover the zodiac. Mars takes 687 days. Mercury takes 88 days. Now the slower planets, Jupiter, it takes 12 years because it stays in a Rashi for 1 year. It takes 12 years to make one revolution of the whole zodiac. And Saturn takes 30 years because it stays in a Rashi for 2.5 years. And when you talk about Sun, he stays in a Rashi for a month. So to cover the whole zodiac, it will take 12 months. So this is the revolution taken, time taken. So now we are going to study another interesting topic, that is retrograde of planets. Retrograde is the movement of the planet. Retrograde is also known as Vakri Graha. In Sanskrit, retrograde planets are known as Vakri Graha. Now, what is the meaning of this retrograde movement? Retrograde means the planet appears to move in the reverse direction when seen from the Earth. This reverse movement is known as retrograde. Means it's going back. But in reality, none of the planets move backwards. Every planet just goes in the direct motion. It is not possible for a planet to go in the reverse direction. But when we happen to see from the Earth, we feel that the planet is moving backward. But that is not the reality. It is just the appearance. We feel that a planet is moving backwards. So what happens is, when a planet, so retrograde will give a different kind of a result. A direct moving planet and retrograde planet, if you see, retrograde planet will always give a different kind of a result. Now, 1 second, please. So this is a apparent movement. That is not an actual movement. It's a apparent movement. That is, we are looking at these planets from this Earth. So when we see from the Earth, we feel that the planet is moving backward. But in reality, it is not moving backward. It only appears to move backward because, see, each planet has its own speed. Because of the different speeds of the planets and different position of the planets, sometimes you feel that the planet is moving backward. So, for example, if let me give you an example for you to understand this easily. If you're traveling in a in a train, and there are two parallel tracks. You are in one train and you are looking at the other train from the window, and your train is moving very fast. It's a fast train. The other train is a slow moving train. So both of them are moving, and when you look out of the window from the fast moving train, when you're looking at the slow moving train, you feel that the train is going backward. But in reality, the train will not be moving backward, but it's a kind of an illusion because of the speed of the train. Relative speed is different, you know. That's why you feel that it is moving backwards. This movement is known as retro. This happens with the planets also. So, whenever a planet is retro, you know, the planets are actually more close to Earth, and their effect is felt more. The effect is felt more on the individual. Now, luminaries, as I said, the luminaries and sun and moon can never retrograde. They only have a direct movement. They never retrograde. Coming to shadow planets, Rahu and Ketu, they're always retrograde. That means they always move in the reverse direction, anti-clockwise direction. All the planets move in the clockwise direction, whereas Rahu and Ketu always move in the anti-clockwise direction. The five remaining planets, that is Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, these planets, they have both kind of movements. They move in the direct way also, and sometimes they appear to move backwards also. So these five planets, they move backwards also. Sometimes their movement is they are retrograde for such a long time that they go back to the previous sign as well. So what happens when there's a retrograde planet? What does it indicate? Whenever the retro planet is there in the horoscope, it indicates something. See, each and every planet, the position, the conjunctions, everything indicates something. Now, retro planets in a horoscope do indicate something. What they indicate is, in your previous lifetime, you would have ignored the signification of this planet. That's why it comes back in this life as a retro planet. It is posted in such a way that it will make you give more concentration to its signification. It's like, you know, it's holding your collar and telling, see, last lifetime you have ignored me. This time, there's no way that I'll allow you to ignore me. See, if somebody holds your collar and pulls you towards them, you are bound to look at their face, right? You can't escape. That's how the planet does. It makes you concentrate on its signification. It will not allow you to ignore it in this lifetime. That's why that planet is retrograde. That is the astrological significance. Astronomical significance, I told, that planet appears to move backward, but it is not moving backward. So that is the meaning of a retrograde planet. So what is the effect which retrograde planet has on an individual? Even that we'll be studying. So it actually represents an area of life where your soul is learning some important lesson. Some area of your life or some planet signification you would have ignored in your last janma, in your past life. So this time it will give you experiences through which you learn your lesson. For example, if you have, retrograde Saturn in your horoscope, what happens if you have a retrograde Saturn in your horoscope? We'll be learning each and every planet's, influence. Retrograde, if it is there, what will happen? See, Saturn represents discipline, hard work, your duty, and being humble. If Saturn is retrograde in your horoscope, What it means, you would have ignored all these qualities in your last life. So in this lifetime, it will give you experiences where you are bound to become more humble, where the planet itself will make you so very responsible, duty bound, hardworking, and it will make you, what do you say, more responsible. So it will give you that kind of experiences only, that you can't escape those situations. You have to be responsible, you have to be more duty oriented. All these kind of qualities the person will be having if they are having retrograde planets. So let me show you. Let's study what will happen if each of the planets are retrograde. So when you talk about retrograde planets, in Sanskrit, retro planets means they are known as Vakri. What is the meaning of Vakri? Vakri means twisted or roundabout. So these planet will induce a different kind of a quality in an individual. They do not usually think in one particular way. They always think in a different manner, not in a conventional manner, in a different manner. If you give them some, if a situation is given, they'll think in a different manner, not in the usual conventional manner. They always have a different thought process, we can say. So coming to, if Mars is retrograde in a person's horoscope, what happens? See, Mars being retrograde means Mars is about energy, courage, and that is retrograde in a person's horoscope. So, what will happen? Retrograde planets are very strong because only when a planet is close to the Earth, they appear to be retrograde. So the influence will be more. That's why they're considered to be more stronger than your direct planets. So people who have Mars retrograde, actually they'll be having a lot of power, but they don't realize or understand their own power. And they do not know how to use their power or energy properly. And they also had to have a watch over their metabolism. Either their metabolism will be very fast, very quick, or it will be very slow or dull. And it's also a planet of logic. Mars is considered to be a planet of logic. And here, this person will be having a logic which is completely unconventional, a different kind of a thought process. And Mars is about courage. But when Mars is retrograde, the individual will not have that much of courage to stand up for himself. That is what the difference is between the direct planet and a retro Mars. If Mercury is retrograde, what will happen if Mercury is retrograde? Either this Mercury is all about communication, speech, oration, business. So if Mercury is retrograde, either this person will talk too much or he'll talk very, very less. He'll not at all talk. And he is also the Karaka for speech and intelligence, Mars. So these people's thinking will be completely different. It will be very unconventional kind of thinking. They'll be very bright thinkers, but they'll not know how to express themselves. They'll not know how to express themselves, or they will, they'll drive other people crazy with their ideas. And one thing about retro Mercury is they'll feel that they're the only intelligent people on this whole planet. That is what their feeling will be. Now, coming to retro Jupiter, they usually never know when to stop giving advice, because Jupiter is all about giving advice, counseling, wisdom, right? So these people, they're very good at giving advice, but they'll not know when to stop giving advice. They'll not see whether the other person is listening or not. They'll continue to give advice, and they'll be very extremely knowledgeable. They will be, yet they'll not know how to use their knowledge. They'll not know how to use the knowledge in the right way. And when you listen to their advice also, it will be very kind of different or unconventional kind of advice they'll be giving. And coming to Venus, if you have Venus retro, this is the Venus is the planet for marriage, Karaka for marriage. So when Venus is retro, these people will usually choose some unusual kind of an alliance, not the usual, something different. And they might not know how to express their love, how to express their feelings. And women, if they're having retro Venus, they will not be that very feminine, they'll not know how to dress themselves in a feminine manner. And if Saturn is retrograde, these people will not know when to stop working. They'll be very, very workaholic. And or it might be the other way. They might not like to work at all. So it can be either way. And when Saturn is retro, what happens is these people, they will not be able to sleep until they finish the work that is given to them. They'll be very workaholic. So they'll not even be able to sleep until they finish the work that is assigned to them. Or they'll always be under pressure, work pressure, and kind of OCD type, they'll have some kind of compulsive behavior. And when it comes to the style in which a work has to be performed, they are perfectionists. They always want the work to be done in a particular way. They'll not be satisfied if somebody else does the work. That's why most of the times they'll not assign work to anyone. They prefer doing it by themselves. So they'll feel, and they'll also feel very uncomfortable if somebody touches their feet. That is if Saturn is retro. And if you see a person who is having Mercury retro, they'll be very good at writing. They'll write very neatly. And when they make notes, they'll underline everything. They'll use different colors. They'll use what do you say? They'll write in a very neat manner, uh, underline things, and design it very well. That means that appearance of their written word will be very neat. Whatever they write, they write it in such a manner that the appearance will be very neat. And they take lot of efforts to make it very attractive. And and if you talk about so this is how each of the planets will behave. It just means that in the past lifetime, they would have ignored those things. So now they're giving a lot of importance to it. Why they're giving more importance to it, or the planet will make them to give more importance to that Karakatva. If they don't do it, the same kind of situations will be popping up until they learn to do it properly. That is what a retro planet will do. Just imagine there are two students preparing for the same exam. One student will understand the subject very quickly and he will clear the exam in the first attempt. Okay? In the first attempt itself, he'll be able to clear because he has understood the subject very well. The second student, what happens? The same things, same material he's studying, but he'll not be able to understand it that quickly. He needs more time. He needs to understand each and every concept clearly. He wants to go deep into the subject, wants to really understand the concepts properly. Then so what happens? He struggles initially to understand. He'll not study on the surface. He wants to deeply understand the subject. So initial stages, he'll undergo a struggle to learn the things. But ultimately, he'll develop a understanding which is very deep. And this understanding is so deep that in his lifetime, he'll not forget it. So this is the retro planet is like the second student, where the it will not simply make you understand things. It will make you understand the things deeply, through different experiences. So retro, you have to understand, it is not bad. Retro doesn't mean bad. It just means that our soul has decided to learn that lessons more deeply in this lifetime. That's what it means. So it just means that the retro motion often indicates that we have chosen a different path, not the conventional path, but a different path. That doesn't mean that you'll not be successful. It just means that you have chosen a different path to understand things. So, if more than one planet is retro in your horoscope, the planet with the more degrees, higher degrees, will affect you more. And you have to see, if a planet is retro in its exalted house, then it loses the power to help the native. But if the planet is retro in its debilitated sign, then it will have more power to help the person in all possible ways. So I hope you have understood the concept of retro planets, because it's quite an interesting concept, and it will help you when you're analyzing a person's chart. When you look at the planets which are retrograde, you can understand the person's nature much more deeply. So, if, for example, if Mercury is retro in a person's horoscope, how will a person act? Let me take a simple example. A person, let us name him as Rahul. He is a brilliant student, but whenever he wants to speak in public, he gets very nervous and struggles to speak. That means his communication is not that very good. He'll not be able to express his thoughts properly. And if he send a mail or he tries to communicate something, most of the times it will get misinterpreted, and he has to repeatedly convey that this is not what he meant. That is the kind of nature which Mercury retrograde will give to a person. So, what will happen? He will learn the lesson that he has to communicate in a better way. For that, what he will do? He struggles with the communication, right? So, what he will do? He will try to, um, he'll start reading. He will go to some classes where he can improve his communication skills, and he will learn to listen more carefully. He will devise ways in which he is able to convey his thoughts, or he is able to communicate in a better manner. He will sharpen his communication skills. For that, he will put in more effort. That means he will concentrate more on that aspect of his life. So that is what a retro Mercury will do to a person. It will make you learn by giving experiences of situations by which you can master that art in which you are lacking. So most probably after a few years of undergoing all this person would become a very good speaker, because he understands the importance of clear communication. So he'll become a very good speaker. So what is the karmic lesson that you are learning in this thing, in this situation? What is the karmic lesson that you are learning? It just means that words have power. Learn to listen. Then learn how to convey your feelings or thoughts in the right manner. Only then you speak. That is the karmic lesson that retro Mercury will teach you. For example, if a person is having retro Venus, let's take a example of a girl. She's having a retro Venus. So what she'll do? She'll enter into a relationship, because Venus is all about relationships. She will enter into a relationship expecting her partner to make her happy. Okay, most of the relationships we start in the same way, because we expect others to make us happy. But what happens? That is not possible. So she'll experience lot of disappointments. Then she'll cut off that relationship. She'll get into another relationship. Again, there she'll experience unhappiness. So each of the relationships, when there is retro Venus, you're trying to search for happiness and love, and you see that you're not getting it. So what will happen? Eventually, you'll understand that you have to love yourself first. Only then You have to love yourself, you have to develop your own interests, and you have to become emotionally independent. It is not right to depend on others to make us happy. That is what you learn. If there is a retro Venus in your horoscope, you will be coming across such situations where you have to become emotionally strong, emotionally complete. Only then, you'll get a proper relationship. Otherwise, until then, you will be experiencing situations where you become unhappy because of your expectation. So eventually what will happen, if you understand that you have to love yourself first, you have to become complete and don't expect the other person to make you happy, then you will become more peaceful. That's the lesson which retro Venus is there to teach you. So what is the karmic lesson? So in the previous life you wouldn't have given much importance for relationships. So in this lifetime you learn to give importance to it, you crave for it. That is the meaning. So this is about retro Venus. If you're having retro Mars in your horoscope, then you have to see Mars is all about power, energy, courage. So what happens? It's also a planet of temper. Mars is about short temper, also anger. So what happens if a person, for example, you take an individual, he's very short tempered, but he suppresses his anger most of the time. He tries to suppress his anger, and one day, for a small instance, he explodes. He is not able to contain his anger anymore. He explodes. So this pattern keeps on repeating in his life. If there is Mars retro, so what happens? He keeps on trying to control his anger, and one fine day, for the smallest of things, he will explode. So, what is the lesson that has to be learned here? He has to realize that anger is not the problem. Knowing how to handle it is important. So what he has to do, he has to channelize his energy, because see, planet is Mars is a planet of aggression, energy, action. So when this individual learns to channelize his energy in the right path by joining a gym or doing some martial arts or learning to meditate, he'll be able to control his anger in a much better manner. So Mars retrograde is trying to teach you that you are powerful, but how you use your energies and power in the right manner is very important. Might be in the last life you had not used it in the proper manner. With your power or with your energy, you would have hurt somebody, or you would have misused, you would have, you would have not given much importance to the characteristics of Mars. So in this lifetime, it is trying to teach you to learn how to manage your anger, how to use your energy in the right manner. So, what happens if this individual who is having Mars retro, he learns that he has to channelize his energy, might be he can take up some sports or go to a gym or learn meditation, then he'll be able to handle his anger in a better manner. So, what is the lesson that Mars, retro Mars is trying to teach you? That means the actual true strength is in self control and in channelizing your energy in the right path, not in aggression. That is what retro Mars is trying to teach you. When it comes to Jupiter, Jupiter is a planet of learning and wisdom, right? So, what happens? Jupiter is also about religion. So if you're having a retro Jupiter in your horoscope, what is it trying to tell you? See, for example, if a person is having a retro Jupiter in the horoscope, let's take some individual. He's grown up in a very religious family. He's born in a very religious, orthodox family who believe a lot of, who are very religious and who believe in traditions and rituals and all that. This person, if he's having a retro Jupiter, he'll be questioning each and every belief. He'll be questioning each and every ritual. They'll not accept things just like that. They will question every belief. They'll not accept things blindly. They'll question every belief, and they'll get into a lot of confusions. So what happens is, if this individual studies different philosophies, tries to understand the religion, and tries to expand his knowledge, then he will be able to overcome this, the effect of this retro Jupiter. And if you're able to understand what Jupiter is trying to tell you, retro Jupiter is trying to tell you, then it will become much easier. Then the genuine wisdom will develop in an individual. See, whoever is having retro Jupiter, they'll have a lot of questions on philosophy, on religion, on the belief system. But if they try to study, if they make an effort to study it properly, then all their doubts will get cleared. So retro Jupiter will make them to not accept things as they are, but to understand the significance of each of the belief. So they do more study on it, and they get a deeper understanding, and then they'll know how to use this wisdom in a proper manner. So most probably in their last lifetime, they wouldn't have given much importance to religion or to their gurus. These are the persons who will also many a time speak ill of their gurus. They'll not give much importance for their gurus also. So the karmic lesson here is, they don't believe unless they study things. So just because others are believing, they don't believe it. So here what they require is a deep understanding. So they have to make a study, make an effort to understand things. See, each of the planets will give you different life situations where you can master what was lacking in your past life, or what you have ignored in your past life. If Saturn is retrograde in your horoscope, that's a planet of patience. It just means that you didn't have that much of patience in your last lifetime, or you are not disciplined enough, or you are not hardworking, you are very lazy. So in this lifetime, Saturn has become retro. So it will really make you very hardworking, or it will give you situations in life where you are bound to work, you can't escape from it, or you're bound to take on responsibilities, you can't escape from it. So that is the kind of effect Saturn, retro Saturn will give. For example, imagine a person, he's working very hard, but he's not getting any kind of promotion in his office. People who are not working like him, they are getting promoted. He's watching all this, but he's not getting promoted. So what happens? He, instead of quitting, if he happens to continue his hard work, and if he happens to work with sincerity and dedication, and if he tries to improve his skills year by year, slowly when he is in his 40s or 50s, he finally reaches a position, a very top position, where he'll be taking on a lot of responsibility also, a very high position he'll reach, and that position will be very, very stable. So what it teaches is, Saturn teaches is, you should have a lot of patience. And if you have to get into that position, you should really deserve it. So you have to develop that kind of responsibility and that kind of skills to reach a high position. But once you reach that high position, it will be like very stable. There'll not be ups and downs. It will be kind of stable. So that is what Saturn, retro Saturn teaches you, anything built slowly, it becomes strong enough to last forever. That is what retro Saturn teaches you. So a direct planet, if you see, it expresses its nature very naturally, and outwardly it will experience. Whereas a retro planet, what it makes you do is, it makes you pause, it makes you reflect, review, and then act. That is what it will make. So direct direct Mercury, if you are having a direct Mercury in your chart, you learn things very quickly, and you'll speak very fast, and your grasping power will be very good. You'll take decisions very easily. But if the same planet Mercury is retrograde in your horoscope, what will happen? You'll take time. You'll not speak that quickly. You will just think and then speak only after proper thought process, proper analysis. Only then you will speak, and you'll be questioning everything. If you are having a retro Mercury, you have a tendency of questioning everything. If you are about to take a decision, you'll think properly and then take a decision. Before speaking also, you'll think and then speak. So the same thing is, the intelligence is the same in both the cases, but here it works more deeply. The lessons learned are more deep. They're learned for a purpose. It is for a longer time. So that is what a retro planet will influence an individual. In that manner, it will influence. So another example I can give you is, imagine there are two carpenters. You have given them some wood, and you have asked both the carpenters to make a table. You have given a specification, and you have told both the carpenters to make a table. The first carpenter, he'll do the work very quickly. He'll finish it in one day. He'll just do the cutting, he'll finish it off everything, he will do it very quickly. Whereas the second carpenter, he takes his times. He keeps on measuring again and again, checking it, rechecking it, correcting it, rebuilding it, and then he'll take his own sweet time to make the table. What will happen? People will think the second carpenter is very slow. But when you see that, when the table is complete, it will be exceptionally strong and very well crafted. So a retrograde planet behaves like the second carpenter. It will not make things fast. It will make you to pause, take your time, and then to act. That's the kind of nature a retro planet will give. Or you can imagine every planet as a teacher. When you imagine every planet as a teacher, if there is a teacher who will explain the lesson once and move on to the next chapter, that's like the direct planet. But if there is a teacher who will say, I will not leave you until you have understood this concept properly, then that teacher is like the retro planet. So the lessons will keep on repeating, until it will keep on repeating in different forms, until you learn the lesson in a proper manner. Until and unless you deeply understand the concept, the lesson will keep on repeating. In the same way, situations in your life will also keep on repeating. Similar situations will keep on repeating until and unless you learn the lesson of that planet properly. So see in your horoscope which is the planet that is retrograde. It just means you have to learn what that planet is trying to teach you. Only then it will move on. Because in your last time you would have completely ignored the karakatva of that planet. So in this lifetime at least you have to give importance to it. It is just telling, the planet is just telling, in your last time you have ignored me completely. At least in this lifetime, I will not allow you to ignore me. You have to give importance. So it is trying to tell you that. So this is what I said. A direct planet teaches a lesson once and you move on. Whereas a retro planet will keep bringing the same lesson until you truly understand it. Okay. So retro doesn't mean bad. You have to understand that. If a planet is retro in a horoscope, it is not bad. It simply means your soul has chosen to learn that lesson more deeply in this lifetime. So It doesn't mean that you'll not be successful. It just means that you'll take a different path towards success. So when you look at the transit of the planets, Mercury often it'll become retrograde for 3 weeks. 3 or 4 times a year it will become retrograde. So whenever transit Mercury is retrograde, and in your horoscope also Mercury is retrograde, be very careful about communication. And if you are signing some important documents during the retro movement of the planet, please do not sign it. Or you might find that suddenly computers crash, you lose all the data. So whenever Mercury is retrograde, you be very careful about your communications. And if you take the planet Mars, it will retrograde every 2 years for about 2 months. And when this happens, some kind of fight or conflict can happen, especially if you're having a Mars retrograde in your horoscope. See, Mars retrograde means you do not know how to control your anger. It is trying to teach you to channelize your energy and anger in the right manner or in a right path. And if you talk about Venus, it will become retrograde every 18 months. And this is the time, when Venus is retrograde. If there is any problem in the relationship, that will be revealed. So during retrograde of Venus, if you are entering into a relationship or some marriage proposal comes, you should be very careful. You should not get into any kind of major relationship during this time, or you are entering into a new house. You had to just rethink it. Then the outer planet Jupiter, Saturn all go retrograde for 4 to 5 months every year. What is it? Retrograde movement is in the transit chart, not in your birth chart. What I'm talking about, retro Mercury, Mars, Venus, and Jupiter, Saturn, the time period is in your transit chart. Okay. Now, how do you identify retro planet? I forgot to make a slide of that, but I'll add that before sending it to you. See, as I told you, Sun and Moon will never become retrograde. Rahu and Ketu are always retrograde. The other remaining planets, they can either be direct or they can be retrograde. How do you find if a planet is retrograde? How do you find it in the horoscope? Usually, a retro planet will be indicated in a bracket. It will be written in a bracket. So there will be brackets on either side of the planet. That will say that the planet it is retro. See, when a planet is retro, it just means that it is creating a kind of boundary around itself. It will be very adamant and stubborn. It is created a boundary around itself. So you can look into your own horoscopes and find out which are the planets that are retrograde. And you can make changes in your life because that is what the planet wants you to learn in this lifetime. So there's another important thing, the Jyotirlingas. You might be wondering why I'm talking about Jyotirlingas in an astrology class. See, Lord Shiva is associated with the Jyotirlingas because the Jyotirlingas are nothing but they are the forms of Lord Shiva, Swayambhu. So how are they connected, or how is this topic connected to astrology? Let me explain that. Now, there are 12 Rashis and there are 12 Jyotirlingas. Each of the Rashi is connected to one particular Jyotirlinga. So first, let's understand what a Jyotirlinga is. Jyotirlinga, Jyoti means light. Linga means a column. So Jyotirlinga means it's a column of light. Now, how did this Jyotirlinga come into existence? In all these Jyotirlingas, you find Swayambhus. That means the idol has not been, has not been made. It has come into existence by itself. No, there's a very interesting story behind the Jyotirlingas. Once there was an argument between Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu. They had a discussion, which led to an argument regarding the supremacy, like who was more supreme, whether it was Lord Vishnu or Lord Brahma. They were arguing among themselves. So there was a kind of a dispute between both of them. So when this dispute was not resolved, Lord Shiva appeared as a bright column of light, an infinite column of light. And he asked them to find the beginning and the end of this infinite light. So Lord Brahma took the form of a swan and he traveled upwards to see where this column of light ends. And Lord Vishnu took the form of a boar and he dived deep down to see the beginning of this light. Both of them could not find it. So in the places where this column of light appeared, those places are known as Jyotirlingas. And these are points where you find extreme energy, or we can say the place has got so much of energy that it can raise your consciousness. Extremely powerful place, that is the Jyotirlingas. So in India, we have 12 Jyotirlingas, and each of the Jyotirlinga is connected with the Rashi. So which Rashi is connected with which Jyotirlinga, and how you make use of this particular information, we will know in the subsequent slide. So why this Jyotirlinga is connected with Rashi is, see, every Rashi teaches us some lessons which we have to learn in this lifetime. And every Jyotirlinga represents one aspect of Lord Shiva, which will help us to learn this lesson. So when we pray to the Jyotirlinga, it will help us to learn those lessons which we are supposed to learn in this lifetime. Astrology is like a karmic blueprint, it's like a karmic blueprint which tells you what is your destiny. But how you can overcome this destiny through the power of devotion, how you can transform your life, we can know by linking this Jyotirlinga to the Rashi. See, each of the Rashis, Mesha is connected with Rameshwaram. Vrishabha is connected with Somanatheshwara. See, Rameshwaram was established by, Rameshwaram here, it is connected with Lord Rama. Lord Rama is a Suryavanshi. Okay, sun is very much strong in his horoscope. So, Mesha Rashi, sun exalts here, right? That's why Mesha is connected with Rameshwaram. Vrishabha is connected with Somnatheshwara. Then Mithuna is with Nageshwara, and Karkataka with Omkareshwara, Simha with Vaidyanatha, Kanya with Mallikarjuna, Tula with Mahakaleshwara, then Vrishchika is with Krishneshwar, Dhanur Rashi is with Kashi Vishwanath, Makara is with Bhima Shankara, Kumbha is with Kedarnath, and Meena is with Triambakeshwar. So how you can make use of this particular information is, to whichever Rashi you belong to, you can pray to that particular Jyotirlinga to give you strength and blessings. And you can also visit to that place whenever time permits, or whenever it is possible for you. You can visit that place and pray to that Jyotirlinga. You can offer your prayers to that Jyotirlinga. This is how you can make use of this information. There's another way in which you can make use of this information. For example, if you have a planet which is debilitated in your horoscope, if you visit a Jyotirlinga where that planet gets exalted, then you will strengthen that planet. So, if, for example, if you are born in Vrishchika Rashi, what it means, you have moon debilitated. You have to make your moon strong. So, this is one of the methods, If you visit Somnath, here moon in Vrishabha Rashi, moon gets exalted, right? So, Vrishabha Rashi is connected with Somnatheshwara. If you have a moon which is debilitated, you visit Somnath temple to strengthen your moon. According to a Rashi also, you can visit the corresponding Jyotirlinga. If you have a debilitated planet, this is another method to strengthen that planet. For example, if you have sun debilitated, what you can do, you can visit Rameshwara, because here in Mesh Rashi, sun gets exalted. Which is the Jyotirlinga that is connected with Mesh Rashi? It is Rameshwara. So you can visit Rameshwara. For example, if you have Jupiter debilitated, Jupiter is debilitated, then which this one can you visit? You can visit Omkareshwara, because Jupiter gets exalted in Karkataka Rashi, and Karkataka is connected with Omkareshwara. So, just if you are having any planets debilitated in your horoscope, see in which house that planet gets exalted, and see which is the Jyotirlinga that is connected with that Rashi. That place you visit to strengthen your planet. That is one way of using this information. The other way is, according to your Rashi also, you can visit the corresponding Jyotirlinga. That will be very beneficial. So, we have almost come to the end of the session today. So, I just would like to revise some of the concepts. If anybody is able to answer this, I want the students to answer this, just to know how we have understood the concepts. Till now, you have learned so many concepts. I just want to know how much you have understood. I have given a chart over here. If any one of you can unmute yourself, if you are able to answer this, it will be really great. See this chart, just look at this chart and tell me which are the planets in own house, in exaltation house, debilitation sign, Parivartana. If anybody can tell, first let's go one by one. Which is the planet in the own house here?
Namaste, madam. Karkataka
Namaste.
Rashi, moon.
Very good, ma. Yes.
Mean
Okay.
Rashi,
Next person can answer. Okay, each
Okay.
person, I mean, each question can be answered by one person. Moon is correct. Moon is the planet in the own house. Which is the planet in exaltation sign?
Jupiter కాదు.
Is there any planet exalted?
No, ma'am.
Very good. Then which is in the debilitation house?
Debilitation. Jupiter. Jupiter, ma'am.
Jupiter. Very good. There's another planet debilitated.
Parivartana.
No. There are two
Debilitated.
planets. Debilitated.
Two planets. Mars, Saturn.
Everybody try to answer.
Sun is debilitated, ma'am.
Very good. Sun is debilitated. Correct. So there are two planets debilitated, Jupiter and
Rashi
Sun.
Parivartana.
Okay. Now you have to name one Rashi which gets the aspect of Saturn as well as Mars. Which is that Rashi? Saturn as well as Mars.
Saturn and Mars.
What are the aspects of Saturn?
5, 3, 7 and 9.
3, 7
Correct,
and?
9.
No. 3, 7 and?
10.
10.
Only one person is answering, or others are also trying to answer?
They are putting in the chat, madam.
Okay. Okay, if you can directly answer, because I'm not, 3, 7, 10. Very good. And what is the aspect of Mars? Yeah, somebody has written 478. Very good. Now, which is the house that is aspected by both Saturn as well as Mars? Which is the house that is aspected by both Saturn and Mars? Vrishabha Rashi. Yes, somebody has written as Vrishabha Rashi. That's the correct. Because Saturn has third aspect. By its third aspect, it is looking at Vrishabha Rashi. By the seventh aspect of Mars, Vrishabha Rashi is being seen. So both these planets are aspecting Vrishabha Rashi. Very good. Then coming to name one Rashi which is aspected by both Jupiter and Saturn. Which is the Rashi that is aspected by both Jupiter and Saturn? Now, what are the aspects of Jupiter? Let me know that first. Yes. Jupiter's aspect, please. Yes, 579, correct. 579 is the aspect of Jupiter. Now, Saturn is 3, 7, 10. So now let me know which is the Rashi that is aspected by both Jupiter as well as Saturn. Yes, anyone? Very good. Which getting some right answers. Both should aspect, just not one planet. Both Saturn as well as Jupiter should aspect that Rashi. Which is that Rashi? No, not Rishabha. Rishabha only Jupiter is aspecting. Yeah, sorry. Rishabha also is correct, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correct. Rishabha is aspected by both Jupiter as well as Saturn. There's one more Rashi which is aspected by both Jupiter and Saturn. Kanya. Yes, correct. You're right. So this is how good that you have tried. Yes. So in this horoscope, Jupiter and Saturn both are aspecting Vrishabha Rashi as well as Kanya Rashi. Okay. So I hope you have understood the concept of exaltation, debilitation, then aspect and all that. And which are the planets in Parivartana? Parivartana. If anybody can tell me which are the planets are in Parivartana? I want more answers. Yes, correct. It's Jupiter and Saturn. Very right. Jupiter is in Saturn's house and Saturn is in Jupiter house. So they both are in Parivartana. Very good. So you are finding the answers over here. I hope you have understood the concepts properly. Now let's see another question over here. In this particular chart, you had to identify which planets are exalted and which planets are in the own house. Girish sir, I think you can unmute them so that it will be easier to listen to them rather than reading the reading the chats.
Saturn is exalted in Tula Rashi.
Very good. Saturn is exalted in Tula Rashi.
Tula Rashi.
Mars is exalted in Capricorn.
Jupiter also exalted, ma'am.
Jupiter is exalted.
Mars also
Very good.
exalted, ma'am.
Yes. Jupiter also
Mars also
exalted.
exalted.
Mars also exalted. Very good.
In
So there are three planets
Moon
exalted.
is one house, ma'am.
Huh?
Moon is in own house.
Moon is its one house.
Yes, correct. You are right.
Venus is also in own house.
Very good.
Jupiter
Venus also.
Jupiter
also one house, ma'am.
Jupiter is exalted in Karkataka
No,
Rashi.
Jupiter is not in the own house. It is in the exalted house.
Exalted.
Exalted house.
Yeah.
Exalted
So
on
in
Ketu.
this horoscope, there are 3 planets that are exalted: Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars.
Jupiter
Two
and
planets in the
Mars.
own house. Moon is in the own
One
house
of
and
Moon
Venus in
and
the
Venus.
Venus. Yes. Now,
Venus.
which are the planets? Which are the planets which are retro in this horoscope?
Venus.
Venus, Rahu.
Venus, Rahu, and Ketu,
Rahu
ma'am.
and
Rahu
Ketu.
and Ketu.
Rahu and Ketu.
Yes, Rahu.
Yes. In every horoscope, you'll find Rahu and Ketu written in brackets
Appointed.
because they're always retrograde. Okay, Rahu and Ketu are retrograde in all the horoscopes. So that is common. If Rahu and Ketu are not written in retrograde, it means they have not written it properly. They should always be retro. So in some people, they write it as R to signify the planets that are retrograde. In some softwares, they write it as write it in brackets. Okay. So here,
I'm in
Venus
retro.
Venus.
Venus is retrograde.
Venus, Rahu, and
Only
What
Venus.
happens? What happens when Venus is retrograde?
మ్యామ్ ఇప్పుడు రెట్రో ఉండి కంపల్ట్ అయితే ఏ ప్రాబ్లం అవుతుంది ఏమైతుంది మ్యామ్
Slow in relationship.
No, no,
Relationship bond
Please
ledu, ma'am.
please don't ask me questions. You answer my question.
హస్బెండ్ అండ్ వైఫ్
Relationship bond ledu, ma'am.
Okay,
They will
okay,
search
yeah.
for
Kind of alliance.
better relationship.
Wait. If Venus is retro, what it signifies is in your previous birth time, you wouldn't have given importance to relationships. You would have given more importance to something else. You wouldn't have valued the relationships that you have. So in this lifetime, you'll be in search of relationships which will be fulfilling, which will give you happiness, where you will find love. Okay, so you'll always be in search of such kind of relationships. So what is the remedy for it? You have to become a complete individual. You don't have to emotionally depend on others. You must be more giving. Then you will be able to balance this retro Venus. Okay, that's what it means.
Venus, okay. ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳಿಗೆ
Here in this chart, oh sorry, I have also written. Okay, which are the planets aspecting each other? Mutual aspect. Just look at the chart. Don't see the answer.
Mercury, Mars.
mutual aspects.
Jupiter aspecting
aspect.
Mars and Mercury. Mars, Mercury aspecting Jupiter.
Venus and Mercury.
Venus and Jupiter.
It is Mars and
Mercury and Jupiter, ma'am.
Yes.
Jupiter, ma'am.
Yes,
Mercury and Jupiter, ma'am.
Last
Mercury and Jupiter
and
are
Jupiter.
mutually aspecting each other. Mercury and Jupiter are mutually aspecting. Mars and Jupiter also mutually aspecting.
జాయిన్ అయితే నేను 6
Both are in
Okay.
Samasaptaka.
Okay.
Even
And
Mars
which of the
and
planets
Saturn.
are aspecting?
అయితే వద్దు జాయిన్ అయ్యింది
What,
Pardon, madam.
madam?
బాబు జాయిన్ అండి వచ్చా
Which of the planets are aspecting each other?
సరేపా ఆమె మాట్లాడతా
Saturn and
Mercury,
Mars.
Jupiter.
Mars and Jupiter.
Correct. Mars and Jupiter is correct. See, Mars and Jupiter Samasaptama. Mercury and Jupiter also aspecting each other. Correct. Now there are 2 other planets which are aspecting each other. See, Saturn. Saturn and
Ketu.
No, Rahu and Ketu.
Ketu
We'll be
have
learning
no
about that in the
aspects.
They
next
don't
class.
have
Because he
aspects,
has
right?
no head.
Mars and Saturn are looking at each other. See, Mars has the 4th aspect. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Saturn has the
It's
10th
looking over here.
Saturn,
Saturn has the 10th aspect. 7, 8, 9, 10. So, Saturn with its 10th aspect is looking at Mars. Mars by its 4th aspect is looking at Saturn. So, they are also mutually aspecting each other. Now, which are the planets retro in this horoscope?
Mercury.
Jupiter.
Mercury and Jupiter, ma'am.
and Jupiter.
Jupiter, Rahu. Yes.
Jupiter and Mercury, madam.
Jupiter
Mercury
is
and
in
Jupiter are
debilitation.
retro in this horoscope.
In retro.
So what will happen if Mercury and Jupiter are retro in the horoscope?
Jupiter, the over.
Jupiter will teach religious aspects, ma'am.
They would not have followed.
Communication.
Anger.
Mercury will teach how to communicate.
Communication.
Yes, correct.
Difficulty expressing themselves.
Learn to communicate better.
Yes. Correct.
Jupiter will should take effort to understand the religious and
Very good. Correct.
Learning to wisdom and religion.
Respective culture,
Yes.
respect culture.
Yes, respect. Yes, correct, correct.
Mahatma
Good.
Gandhi Horoscope
Madam, a
Mercury
small
is
request.
retrograde in
Madam, a
Aries.
small request, please. Please unmute anyone so that we can come to know the answers properly.
Yeah. 1 second. There's 2 more questions. I'll ask that and then we'll finish off with this session.
No,
Sir,
ma'am.
please, sir.
Some will
అందరినీ
be
మ్యూట్
completing for
చేసేసి
us.
ఎవరు హ్యాండ్ రైజ్ చేసినారో వాళ్ళు మాత్రం అన్మ్యూట్ చేసేకి అవుతుందా?
So that we get the proper answer. If we don't know the proper
Yeah.
answer, we'll know. That's fine.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yeah. Girish sir?
చెప్పండి మేడం.
సార్ అందరినీ మ్యూట్ చేసేసి ఎవరు హ్యాండ్ రైజ్ చేసినారో వాళ్ళు మాత్రం అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి సార్. Okay. Now this question, if you know the answer, you please raise your hand. Girish sir will unmute you. Then you can answer. Okay.
Give reasons.
Okay. See, this is the chart.
Chart.
1 second, please. Please be muted. I'll just ask the question. If you know the answer, you can raise your hand. Then you'll be unmuted and then you can answer. See, this is a person's birth chart. Okay, he is born in Karkataka Rashi. That moon is in Karkataka, so that is the Janma Rashi. This is a transit chart. This is not today's transit chart. This is some other transit chart. So I have just given this chart so that I can So this transit chart is not today's. It is on some other date. I have purposefully given this so that I can understand whether you have understood this concept properly or not. Now, if this person who is born in Karkataka Rashi, is he having Guru Bala, Sade Sati, Astama Shani or Kujadosha? Just look at the transit chart here to know the position of the planets and let me know if this person is having Guru Bala. First is Guru Bala. One person should answer. Whoever knows the answer, please raise your hand. You will be unmuted. Is he having Guru Bala?
A lot of people who have already raised their hand. I'm not sure for this or something else.
It's okay, sir. You unmute one person. Let me know.
Padmaja, Rupashri, Sheila, you want to answer? Any one of you can answer.
Madam,
Yes,
there is no Gurubala, ma'am. Gurubala undi.
Okay.
Sade Sati ledu. Sade Sati ledu.
Let's go one by one. Just tell me about Guru Bala. Is this individual having Guru Bala or not?
Madam, Jupiter ninka 7th house lo undi. Moon, laka మన moon ninka Jupiter ni check cheyala.
Moon ninka Jupiter ni check cheyala. Jupiter transit
అయితే
Jupiter yadundi.
7th house lo undi Jupiter ante Gurubala undi.
Correct. Yes, this person is having Guru Bala.
Because ఇంట్లో శని ఉండేదాన్ని ఇంకా వీడికి సాడే సతి లేదు.
Wait. First finish off with Guru Bala, then we'll talk about Sade Sati. Someone else can answer about Sade Sati. First, let me explain about Guru Bala. See, moon is in Karkataka Rashi. So when is a person having Guru Bala? If transit Jupiter, when counted from moon, if it is in the 2nd, 5th, 7th, 9th or 11th house, then that person is said to have Guru Bala. Here transit Jupiter is in Vrishabha Rashi. So when you count from moon, Vrishabha is the 11th house. So this individual at present, at this time, is having Guru Bala. Okay. Now coming to Sade Sati. Now tell me, some other person can answer this. Is this individual having Sade Sati?
No, ma'am, there is no Sade Sati.
Why the person is not having Sade Sati?
Where is
in 9th house lo?
In 8th house and it is Astama Shani, not Sade Sati.
Correct. It is Astama Shani. Because when counted from moon, transit Saturn, when counted from moon, is in the 8th house. So Astama Shani is there. When will this individual have Sade Sati? At present, he's having Astamashani. According to this transit chart, this individual is having Astamashani because
He's
when
come to
counted
seventh
from
house,
moon,
ma'am.
When
Saturn is
Saturn
in
Come
the
to seventh.
8th house.
Mithuna Rashi.
Correct. When
When
Saturn
Saturn
comes
is
to
in Mithuna Rashi.
Mithuna
Rashi.
Mithuna
Janma
Rashi,
Rashi. Next Karkataka Rashi and next Simha Rashi.
correct.
Then
Wonderful. Wonderful. That is when this person will have 1 second. That is when this person will have Sadesati. When transit Saturn, here in this chart, transit Saturn is in Kumbha Rashi. That's why when counted from moon, transit Saturn is in the 8th house. So this individual is having Astama Shani. But if the transit Saturn happens to come to Mithuna Rashi, then the Sadesati period will start. For how long it will be there? When transit Saturn moves to Karkataka and Simha, these 3 houses, when transit Saturn is there, this person will have Sadesati. Okay, this is about Sadesati and Astamashani. Okay, about Kujudosha. Is this individual having Kujudosha?
No Kujadosha.
How did you see? What is the reason for telling there's no
Sorry.
Kujudosha?
Mars
What
is
is
at
the
12th
rule
house.
for Kujudosha?
Sorry, I have seen in transit chart, but I have to see in the birth chart. Mars is at 12th house from Sagittarius ascendant. So he has Kujadosha.
Yes, correct. So, Astamashani, Sadesati, Guru Bala, you have to see transit chart. You have to keep the reference as transit chart. When you're talking about Kujudosha, you have to see only the birth chart. What is the rule for Kujudosha? From your Lagna, if Mars, in your birth chart I'm talking about, if Mars is in the 2nd house, 4th house, 7th house, 8th house, and 12th house, then that individual is having Kujadosha. Here in this horoscope, when you see from Lagna, Mars is in the 12th house. So this person is having Kujadosha. Okay? So I hope you have understood. Okay. We have come to the end of the session. So I'll be talking about the tip of the day, the right way of celebrating your birthday. What is the right Sanatana way to celebrate the birthday? Because today, cutting the cake and blowing of the candles has become the norm or the way of celebrating a birthday. But the actual way, the Sanatana way of celebrating the birthday is completely different, because birthday is an important day for every individual. It's a very important day. And there are some things that you're supposed to do on your birthday, which are very important. What is it? Celebrating the birthday according to your Janma Nakshatra. That is very important. If you're born in Rohini Nakshatra, next year in that particular month only, whenever Rohini Nakshatra comes, that is your birthday. Celebrating it on that day is much more beneficial. Okay? If you want to celebrate it on your birth date, I mean, if you're born on 5th and you want to celebrate on 5th, even that is fine. But you should do some other things on your Janma Nakshatra day also, because that is when the moon again comes to that nakshatra and it is quite significant. So make a practice of celebrating your birthday on your Janma Nakshatra. There are certain things that you should do on your birthday. Get up early in the morning, take head bath. Okay. After that, go to wear new clothes, because on your birthday, wearing new clothes is very, mandatory. It will also uplift your spirits. It will make you happy. Then go to your puja room, light a lamp in front of the god and pray to your Kula Devata. That is very important. You have to get the blessings of your Kula Devata. For your life to function smoothly, having the blessings of the Kula Devata is very, very important. So light a lamp and pray to your Kula Devata. After that, what you have to do? You have to take a glass of milk. You have to take a small glass of milk, not the boiled milk, raw milk. Add a little bit of black till, sesame seeds into that. Add a little bit of jaggery, mix it properly, and then you take that in your palm. You have to pour it 3 times, and then you have to drink that. Before drinking that, you have to chant the names of the Sapta Chiranjeevis. Sapta Chiranjeevis means 7 immortal people. Chiranjeevis means people who have no death. They are immortal. They are still living now. So you have to chant their names. You have to pray to them. You have to pray for good, healthy, long life. You have to pray to them. You have to tell their names. And after that, you have to drink this milk. You have to face towards the east direction, and then you have to consume this milk. Then the next thing that you do is you take the blessings of your parents and the elders in the house. And important thing is you have to do some kind of charity on that day. You can do anything. You can donate whatever you feel like to any person. And feeding cows. Feeding a cow also is very important on your birthday. This is a very simple thing that you have to do on your birthday. After that, you can go to a party, you can enjoy yourself, you can cut a cake, you can do anything. But take care never to blow the candle on the cake, because that is a Western concept, completely a Western concept. In our Sanatana Dharma, we never blow the Agni. We always light a lamp. All the auspicious things, we begin with lighting a lamp. We never blow out Agni. It is considered highly inauspicious. So why do you want to perform an inauspicious act on your birthday? Lighting a lamp marks the beginning of new things. It is considered to be very auspicious. So on your birthday, if you're having a cake, keep a lamp with it and light that lamp, which will mark a healthy and a long life. Please do not blow candles. Don't copy the Western culture blindly. Understand why you're doing certain things. Every act has got a meaning. And when you perform that act with awareness, it will give a lot of benefits. So if you want to cut a cake, it's fine, you can cut a cake, but don't blow candle. Keep a lamp next to the cake and light that lamp. Whenever you light a lamp, it signifies so many good things, and it will also uplift your mood. Never blow a candle. Okay? And it has become a fashion to cut the cake exactly at midnight. Never do that, because you can cut it in the morning, but not at midnight. See, every time has its own energies. Midnight is not an auspicious time. So please do not cut cake at midnight. You can cut it in the morning. Okay? So these are a few things which you can do to make your birthday much more meaningful. You should take the blessings of your elders, your parents. You should pray to your Kula Devata. You should visit the temple on that day. Then you should do any kind of charity to the poor people. You should feed cows. All these things you do, and after that, you have your parties or celebrations or anything. And whenever you consume the milk that is mixed with the black till and jaggery, after chanting the name of Sapta Chiranjeevis, because when you chant the name of Sapta Chiranjeevis, you get their blessings also. And when you consume the milk that is mixed with black till and jaggery, you'll be warding off all misfortunes that are supposed to happen during the next coming year. So on your birthday, till the next birthday, that 1 year span, if there is any misfortune that is supposed to happen to you, Ganda, they say, you'll be warding off all that. So it is important that you follow all these things on your birthday. This is the right and actual way of celebrating the birthday. So if you want to know the names of the Sapta Chiranjeevis, see, That is, this is the sloka that has to be chanted. If you're not able to chant the sloka also, it is okay. Only if you tell their names and pray to them, that itself is sufficient. Ashwattama, Bali, Vyasa, Hanumanta, that is Hanuman, then Vibhishana, Krupacharya, Parshurama. These are the 7 people who are immortal. They are living even now on this earth. So when you pray to them and take their blessings, it is considered to be very, very effective. Okay. So this is about today's class. Okay. So you have any questions, you can ask me, but please see to it, you don't ask any personal questions. Whatever matter today I have taught, if you have any doubt in that, you should ask. But personal consultations and regarding your horoscopes, you should not ask, because my whole intention of teaching is so that you become capable enough to understand your own horoscopes. Okay. So please, if you have any doubt regarding today's class, you are welcome to ask about it.
I'll unmute people who have raised their hand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please do that, sir.
Rupa, I've unmuted
Namaste,
you.
ma'am.
Ha, namaste, ma. Rupa, you can just, yeah.
ఎస్ మ్యామ్. మ్యామ్, ఇప్పుడు మీరు చెప్పత్రి జ్యోతిర్లింగాల ಬಗ್ಗೆ చెప్పత్రి బరీ ఇండియాలోనే ఎలా ఉంది మ్యామ్, వరల్డ్ అంతా లేదు కదా మ్యామ్?
Yeah, India is a special place, you know. When you see India itself, it is known as Yoga Bhumi or Karma Bhumi. This is the plane where the spiritual evolvement can happen very easily. That's why this land is special. That's why you find the Jyotirlingas here only.
ఓకే మ్యామ్. మ్యామ్, ఇంకొక 2 questions ఉంది మ్యామ్. ఇప్పుడు మీరు అంటే
Rupa, only one question. Only one question. Let everybody get a chance.
మూన్ అండ్ సన్ కి రెట్రో లేదు కదా, అంటే మనం వాళ్ళని వెనక జన్మంలో మనము వాళ్ళని ఇది చేసిండదా, ఇగ్నోర్ చేసిండలేదా?
అట్లా అని కాదు, మూన్ అండ్ సన్ మాత్రం రెట్రో అయ్యలేదు. బికాస్ మనం ఎర్త్ ఇంకా చూస్తూ ఉంటాం కదా, అది రెట్రో అయ్యే ఛాన్సే లేదు. ఓన్లీ ఫర్ దీస్ ప్లానెట్స్.
ఇప్పుడు మనం పేరెంట్స్ ని ఇగ్నోర్ చేసింటే అది నెక్స్ట్ జన్మకి అది ఆ తర కర్మ ఇది ఎట్లా ఇది అవుతుంది మ్యామ్?
అది వేరే ఏదో మెథడ్ లో అవుతుంది. సన్ ఆర్ మూన్ డెబిలిటేట్ అయింది. సన్ ఆర్ మూన్ డెబిలిటేట్ అయింటుంది.
ఓకే ఓకే. ఆమెక బుధ వచ్చి, సారీ మ్యామ్, ఇప్పుడు యాదే ఒక ప్లానెట్ రెట్రో ఆమెట్ నుంచి డెబిలిటేట్ అయ్యింటే దాని ఎఫెక్ట్స్ ఎట్లా ఉంటుంది మ్యామ్?
రెట్రో అయ్యి డెబిలిటేషన్ హౌస్ లో రెట్రో అయింటే కన్నా నీచభంగ రాజయోగా అని అవుతుంది. డెబిలిటేషన్ ఎఫెక్ట్ వెళ్ళిపోతుంది.
ఓ సూపర్ కదా మ్యామ్.
అవును అవును, దట్స్ అన్ యాడెడ్ బెనిఫిట్. అవునమ్మా.
ఓకే మ్యామ్, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ మ్యామ్.
ఓకే మా, వెల్కమ్ మా. నెక్స్ట్ ప్లీజ్.
పద్మజ, unmuted you.
మ్యామ్, ఇప్పుడు రెట్రో అయ్యి కంబస్ట్ అయితే సంజ్ ఎట్లా ఉంది, ఇప్పుడు ఎట్లుంది మర్క్యూరీ ఏదైనా ఒక చోట్ల రెట్రో విత్ కంబస్టన్ అయితే కంబస్ట్ చెంది పవర్ పోతుందా లేదా ఫ్యాన్ అవుతుందా?
లే కంబషన్ ఎఫెక్ట్ ఉంటుంది, రెట్రో ఎఫెక్ట్ ఉంటుంది. మా రెండిటిది ఎఫెక్ట్ ఉంటుంది. డిఫరెంట్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్, బోత్ ఆర్ డిఫరెంట్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్. అనలైజ్ చేసేటప్పుడు 2 డిఫరెంట్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్, రెండిటిది ఎఫెక్ట్ ఉంటుంది.
మేము విడిదుక్తి కొన్ని ఎవరితో జాతకం చూస్తే ఒకే ఇంట్లో 8 గ్రహాలు ఉంది. ఇట్లా ఏమన్నా ಯಾವ ತರ ఇదైతుంది అట్లా సన్ను అన్ని గ్రహాన్ని కంబస్ట్ చేసింది
లేదు. హారోస్కోప్ పూర్తి స్టడీ చేసినప్పుడు దాని ఎఫెక్ట్ ఏమేమి తెలుస్తుంది. ఇప్పుడు మీకు అది ఎట్లా అనలైజ్ చేయాలని తెలియదు కాబట్టి ఇప్పుడు మీకు అర్థమయ్యలేదు. ఫుల్ హారోస్కోప్ మీరు ఫుల్ క్లాసెస్ అయిన తర్వాత మీరు అది యుల్ బి ఏబుల్ టు అనలైజ్ బై యువర్ సెల్ఫ్.
ఓకే మ్యామ్, థాంక్యూ.
AVS iPhone.
మేడం, గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్ మేడం. మేడం సవిత మేడం, ఈ రిలేషన్షిప్ ఆఫ్ ప్లానెట్స్ చెప్పొచ్చు కదా, అది ఎట్లా అప్లై చేసేది హారోస్కోప్ కి అని గొతకాలే.
ఇప్పుడు నేను ప్లానెట్ స్ట్రెంగ్త్ చెప్పినప్పుడు ఓన్ హౌస్, ఎగ్జాల్టెడ్ హౌస్, డెబిలిటేటెడ్ హౌస్ అని చెప్తుంది కదా, ఆడే ఆ టేబుల్లో వేసినాను నేను. ఫ్రెండ్స్ హౌస్ లో ఉంటే ఇంత స్ట్రెంగ్త్ ఉంటుంది, న్యూట్రల్ హౌస్ లో ఇంత స్ట్రెంగ్త్ ఉంటుంది, ఎనిమీ హౌస్ లో ఇంత స్ట్రెంగ్త్ ఉంటుంది అని. మీకు ఇంతవరకు తెలిసింది ఓను, ఎగ్జాల్టెడ్, డెబిలిటెడ్ మాత్రము. ఇప్పుడు మీరు ప్లానెట్ ఫ్రెండ్స్ హౌస్ లో ఉందా అని చూసుకోవచ్చు, ఎనిమీ హౌస్ లో ఉందా అని తెలుసుకోవచ్చు, న్యూట్రల్ హౌస్ లో ఉందా అని కానీ తెలుసుకోవచ్చు. దాని ప్రకారం దాని స్ట్రెంగ్త్ మీరు డిటర్మిన్ చేయొచ్చు.
మేడం అన్ని హారోస్కోప్లను రెట్రో ప్లానెట్స్ ఉంటుందా?
అట్లేం లేదు, కంపల్సరీ ఏమి లేదు.
లేకపోతే ఏమి
లేకపోతే ఏమి అంటే దే హ్యావ్ నాట్ ఇగ్నోర్డ్ ఎనీ కారకత్వాస్ ఇన్ ద లాస్ట్ లైఫ్ టైమ్ అని.
ఓకే మేడం, థ్యాంక్ యూ మేడం, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
వెల్కమ్. నెక్స్ట్ ప్లీజ్.
Sheila.
Namaste, ma'am.
Yes, ma. Namaste, ma.
You had mentioned that only the specific, there are many Kartas in the Rashis.
What, ma?
You had mentioned many Karyakartas for each Rashi. For each planet.
No, ma, you're not audible. I'm not able to understand.
Your voice is breaking, Sheila.
Yeah.
Now is it better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You had mentioned there are many Karyakartas in the planets. Now, for the Vakri situation, whatever examples you have given is what we have to consider of that Karyakartas, or does it include others also?
No, see, we don't know which karakatva we have ignored. Each of the planets have got numerable karakatvas. We do not know which karakatva we have ignored. When the planet is retro, we just understand that you have ignored some of the karakatvas of that planet. That's why this nature of yours has been shaped by that planet, or it is making you to work in this manner. For example, Mercury, if you have or let us take Saturn. If you have been very lazy in your previous lifetime, in this lifetime it would have made you a workaholic. So we do not know which karakatva you would have ignored, but it just signifies that you have ignored. We will not be able to particularly pinpoint that this is the thing that you have ignored.
Okay. So what you just had while explaining, you've just taken a specific example.
Yes. I just taken an example for you to understand.
Okay. So is there any other way to know what is the reason for the Vakri?
No, why do you want to know the reason? See, you know the karakatva of that planet, and you know that planet is Vakri. Just see to it that whatever karakatva of that planet is there in this lifetime, don't ignore it. That's all.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah. So because we are learning about horoscopes and all that, we are able to understand that we should not ignore all these.
Yes.
Suppose if we were not in this stage, then
yeah, you'll not understand. You'll be wondering why certain things, certain experiences are happening again and again in my life. You'll not be able to understand
that. All right.
Yeah, that's why I said a horoscope is just not about predicting your future. It's about understanding yourself better.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. And if we have to know about this, that these retrograde is there in the in the horoscopes, you have to check the transit frequently.
No. Why? In your birth horoscope, you have to see, that's all.
Now, in my chart, there is Venus, which is retrograde. So I'll have to keep checking and transit that
No. You don't have to do that. Just if Venus is retro, just see to it that you don't ignore the karakatvas in this lifetime. You give a lot of importance to relationships. That's all.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Vasundhara.
Namaste, madam.
Namaste, ma.
ఇది ఇప్పుడు బర్త్డే నక్షత్ర ప్రకారం చేసుకోవాలనుకుంటున్నా అన్నారు కదా మేడం. మా చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి మేము తిథుల ప్రకారం చేసుకుంటున్నాం. మరి
పర్వాలేదు మా, తిథి ప్రకారం చేసుకున్నా పర్వాలేదు, నక్షత్రం ప్రకారం చేసుకున్నా పర్వాలేదు. ఒక్కొక్క రీజన్ లో ఒక్కొక్క పద్ధతి ఉంటుంది. తిథి అన్నా పర్వాలేదు, నక్షత్రం అన్నా పర్వాలేదు.
ఓకే మేడం, థ్యాంక్ యూ. నెక్స్ట్, నేను లాస్ట్ టైం మిమ్మల్ని అడిగితే పర్సనల్ గా పింక్ చేయమన్నారు మేడం. నాకు అర్థం కాలేదు ఎలా చేయాలని. చేశాను మేడం. కొంచెం ఒకసారి పర్సనల్ గా పింక్ చేయమన్నారు. నేను అది లాస్ట్ 3-4 క్లాసెస్ నుంచే వచ్చాను. నాకు 2 చార్ట్లు ఎలా కంపేర్ చేయాలో అర్థం కావట్లేదంటే ఒకసారి పర్సనల్ గా పెట్టమని చెప్పారు.
అంటే అది మీరు ప్రీవియస్ క్లాసెస్ చూడాలమ్మా, లేకపోతే అది అర్థమయ్యలేదు. ఎన్నో 2 సెషన్స్ అయిపోయినాయి కదా. సో యూ హ్యావ్ టు వ్యూ ద ప్రీవియస్ క్లాసెస్ అంతే.
అది అవైలబుల్ గా లేవు మేడం, అందుకని అడిగాను అడ్మిన్స్ కూడా.
అందుకే నాకు మెసేజ్ చేయండి అని చెప్తే కదా, మెసేజ్ చేయండి.
మెసేజ్ చేశాను మేడం, అదే చెప్తున్నాను నేను. ఒకసారి
మెసేజ్ చేసినారా మీరు నాకే? సరే, ఐ లుక్ ఇంటూ ఇట్ మా, ఐ లుక్ ఇంటూ ఇట్. ఇవది ఇంకొకసారి చేయండి మా.
ఓకే మేడం, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
ఓకే.
వాణి మోహన్. Vani Mohan, I have unmuted you.
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, ma.
Ma'am, in Meena Lagna, my Jupiter is there.
Huh.
Meena is my Lagna, and Jupiter is there,
Okay.
and it is retrograde. No? What is the impact? It is in own house and retrograde also.
No, you have to just understand
What
that
is the impact, ma'am?
Jupiter Karakatva you have ignored in your last lifetime, but now in this lifetime, that's why you should not disrespect your gurus. You should give a lot of importance to religion, beliefs, and all that. That's what it means.
Okay, own house also no difference.
No difference.
Same
No
thing
difference.
we have
Yeah,
to
yeah, no
maintain.
difference. No difference.
It is okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hari Chandana.
Namaste, madam.
Namaste, ma. Switch on your camera, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
మ్యామ్ ఇప్పుడు ఒక ప్లానెట్ అనేది రెట్రోలో ఉంది అంటే ఇప్పుడు మార్స్ లాంటి ప్లానెట్ ఉంది అనుకో, కుజుడు, దాని అన్ని కారకత్వం కొంచెం అగ్రెసివ్ గా అలా ఉంటాయి కదండి మేడం. అదే ఇప్పుడు రెట్రోలోకి మారింది అనుకో, అది మనకు యూస్ఫుల్ మేడం ఈ లైఫ్ లో?
యూస్ఫుల్ అంటే మీరు దాన్ని ఎట్లా యూస్ చేసుకుంటారో అనేది మీ చేతిలో ఉంది. రెట్రో అయినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే మీకు ఆ యాంగర్ మరి ఆ ఎనర్జీని మీరు ఛానలైజ్ చేయాలి రైట్ డైరెక్షన్గా. దట్స్ వాట్ ఇట్స్ ట్రైంగ్ టు టెల్ యూ. లాస్ట్ లైఫ్ టైంలో మీరు అది చేసింది లేదు. ఈ లైఫ్ టైంలో మీ షార్ట్ టెంపర్ ఉండేది కానీ లేక మీ ఒక ఎనర్జీని కానీ ఒక మంచి పద్ధతిగా ఒక కన్స్ట్రక్టివ్ వేగా దాన్ని ఛానలైజ్ చేసుకోవాలా అని.
అంటే మనం అది ఉండడం వల్ల మనం అలా చేసుకోవడానికి మన మనసు వస్తుందా మేడం? అలా నేను ఇలా
అవునవును,
ఉండకూడదు, ఇలా
అవునవును,
చెయ్యాలి
కరెక్ట్
అని.
కరెక్ట్ కరెక్ట్ మా
అదే
కరెక్ట్.
మామూలుగా మార్స్ రెట్రోలో కాకుండా నార్మల్ గా ఉంటే మనకు అలా థింకింగ్ అనేది రాదు.
కరెక్ట్ కరెక్ట్
ఎవరైనా
కరెక్ట్
చెప్తే నువ్వు ఎన్నిసార్లు చెప్పినా మనకు అది అర్థం అనేది కాదు. అదే రెట్రోలో
కరెక్ట్
ఉంటే మనకు మనం తెలుసుకోవడానికి ఉంటుంది.
కరెక్ట్ మా కరెక్ట్.
ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
ఎస్ మా. నెక్స్ట్
Oppo A98. Oppo A98 5G. Yeah. I think we'll go to OnePlus. I think somebody OnePlus CPH 2487. Okay, I think they're not that.
it will be better if they name it.
Yeah. Sorry,
Rishikesh.
Namaste, madam.
Namaste ma. Yeah, who's speaking?
This is Sushma here.
Okay. Yes,
First of all, thank you very much. Lot of thanks, I can say. You're giving such a nice, wonderful information. This knowledge will help us to reform and rethink and revisit our whatever we are doing. So
yes ma, that's the main intention.
One question, you just mentioned that Rahu and Ketu is always retro.
Yeah. Yes ma.
So I've seen and heard that many people, because it is retro, when we go around the Navagrahas, they go in the reverse order last 2 days.
No, that should not be done ma. That should not be done. That's a wrong idea. I don't know from where this concept started, you know. Navagrahas always, though Rahu and Ketu go in the reverse direction, it doesn't mean that we should also do a pradakshina. We should not do that. We should always do the pradakshina in the clockwise only.
Okay. And one more thing is, I've heard that
and after sunset, you should not do pradakshina for Navagrahas.
Even for this one.
What ma?
Number of pradakshinas. Say if you say that you have to do 1 or 9, you should not do
correct,
3 or
correct.
something like that.
Correct. Usually, because 1 for all the planets or 9 planets, each pradakshina for each planet. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. And going to the chaptam kada Navagrahalo amtiki Ashwat Katta.
Ama.
అక్కడను మధ్యాహ్నం 12 గంటల పైన పోకూడదు, చేయకూడదు, ప్రదక్షిణము పూజ చేయకూడదు అంటారు.
Usually, yes. You should do it in the mornings itself. Correct.
Not even in the evenings, right?
No ma. You should do it in the mornings only.
Before 12, but before 11:30 is fine for both.
Yes.
So after that, we should not go there and do it.
Correct.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Rishikesh.
Namaste, ma'am. This is Nikhila here. So my question is, thank you, ma'am. Classes are very informative and we have to study a lot more to understand in depth
Welcome.
what you're saying. So many concepts are there. So my
Yeah.
question is regarding place of birth. So if somebody is born in a different country, to put the Jatakam birth horoscope, we have to see the planet position of that country, right? Not the country that person is living in. For example, my son is born in a
Yes. Wherever that person is born, that place only you have to enter in your software or in the app. The place where the person is born, that detail only has to be entered, not the place where they are living.
Okay, ma'am. So because for that, I had that particular scenario. It's not another question, same question. So relative position is not there. Means it is a relative position. From where I am born, I see the planets. That's how it works, right?
Yeah. See,
It is
exactly.
not the same fixed
Yes.
position.
Yes,
Correct.
ma. Yes, correct. You're
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
ma.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Next, please.
Raghu Prasad.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಸರ್.
ಮೇಡಮ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ನಾವು ಮೇ ಬಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ.
ಅದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅದು ಎಫಿಮೆರಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಪಂಚಾಂಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಆಸ್ಟ್ರೋನಾಮಿಕಲ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್, ಅದು ನಾವು ಇವಾಗ ಆ್ಯಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಆ್ಯಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆವತ್ತು ಡೇಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ, ಯಾವ ಡೇಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಡೇಟ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಪ್ಲಾನೆಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ರಾಶಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಆ್ಯಪ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಮೊದಲು, ಅದೇ ಆ ಆ್ಯಪ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ
ದಿವ್ಯ ಚಕ್ಷು.
ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಡೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಡೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು ಹುಟ್ಟಿರೋ ದಿನ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಆವತ್ತದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಾನೆಟ್ಸ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವತ್ತಾದ್ರೂ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಡೇಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆವತ್ತು ಡೇಟ್ದು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಆವತ್ತದು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
ಅದೇ ಈಗ ನೀವು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಎರಡು ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ.
ಹೌದು.
ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ದು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್, ಬರ್ತ್ ಟೈಮಿಂಗ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಬರೋದು ಬರ್ತ್ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ನಿಮ್ದು ಡೇಟು ಟೈಮು ಪ್ಲೇಸು ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ದು ಬರ್ತ್ ಚಾರ್ಟ್. ಇವತ್ತದು ಡೇಟು ಟೈಮು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬರ್ತ್ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಾನೆಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆಯೋ ಅದು ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಡೇಟ್ಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಪ್ಲಾನೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ.
ಓಕೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು.
I think the last question, Girish sir.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Parvatavardhini.
Yes. Namaste ma. Namaste ma. చెప్పండి మా.
జూపిటర్, మార్స్, మర్క్యూరీ 3 రెట్రో అయింది. సో మన కారకత్వాస్ మనం అది చెయ్యాలా. బట్ చెప్పితే ఇయర్లీ ట్వైస్ ఇది అవుతుంది, రెట్రో అవుతుంది, ఇయర్లీ థ్రైస్ అవుతుంది, అట్లంతా ఉన్నప్పుడు ఆ టైంలో చేయాలనా లేదు?
అట్లా కాదు మా, అట్లా కాదు. అది ట్రాన్సిట్ చార్ట్. దాన్ని మీరేమి తలచెప్పుకోవద్దండి. మీ బర్త్ చార్ట్ లో యా ప్లానెట్స్ రెట్రో అయింది అని చూడండి. ఆ ప్లానెట్ కారకత్వాస్ ని ఈ లైఫ్ లో ఇగ్నోర్ చేయొద్దండి, అంతే.
ఓకే మేడం, థ్యాంక్ యూ మేడం.
ఓకే. గిరీష్ సార్, లాస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్.
మైనా.
Okay.
Maina, yeah.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಮಾ.
ಇದು ಗುರು ಇದಾಗಿದೆ, ರೆಟ್ರೋ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಾರಕ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಆಗಬಹುದಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. they'll be very good at giving advice, but ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನಲ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. ಏನೋ ಒಂಥರ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್. ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇ ಅಡ್ವೈಸೇ ಒಂಥರ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ.
ಓಕೆ, ನಾನ್ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ಈವನ್ ಕೊಡೋದ್ರು ಯಾರು ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಡೋ ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಬೇರೆ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. I mean, the way they look at that situation will be different. So their advice also will be different.
Okay, it may be correct, it may be wrong also.
No, it will be correct only, but the method of giving is different. Aste.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, Girish sir. Thank you so much for handling the whole session. Everything went smoothly today. Really grateful for you for it. So we'll end the session now. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you for helping me. Okay. Thanks to all of you for attending the session. I'll see you on next Thursday. Have a happy weekend. Good night.